Hey everybody, welcome. This is Leonard with Indie Band Coach, and we are here this morning, and we're going to be able to get a chance to talk to Dee Rivers is in the house here, and I'm going to get a chance to talk to her about her interview show called the Radio Takeover and what she's been doing with that. And so I'm excited to talk to her. But before we do that, I also wanted to mention, we've been talking about and sharing tips about live streaming for several months now, and the reason behind it is because I feel like this is one of the mediums that is not just going to be something that we use as a band-aid in some temporary form. I feel like live streaming is definitely a long-term strategy, and I want to help you work it into your plans. We don't have control over pandemics. We don't have control over venues and when all of those things are going to open or close, or even when they do open, how many people are actually going to feel safe and how long it's going to be before people are feeling safe to go out and enjoy themselves. So I want to introduce live streaming as a way to be able to take control of what you're able to share, whether it's your music, whether it's your voice, whether it's your passion, whatever it is. It's a way that we can basically skip around the gatekeepers, which unfortunately fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, there aren't really any specific gatekeepers now. It's you, it's your phone, it's your computer,
Mhm.
and you can get directly to your fans and get directly to the people that need to hear your message. So that's why we've been focusing on live streaming, and that is also why one of the things that we've created has been the live stream checklist. So I believe there is a link to the live stream checklist in the post wherever you are watching from. But if not, you can also get it at the link that I have scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and it's bit.ly/live stream check. And it's just some tips on what to do before, during, and after a live stream that can help you connect with your fans. So, speaking of connecting with your fans, who I'm about to bring to the stage right now. I'm sorry, I've always wanted to be Steve Harvey, and just feel like I was on Kings of Comedy. Okay, but seriously, then, folks, this is serious business. Okay, but seriously, Dee is someone that I got a chance to meet. I think in one of our challenge groups we did last year. A ray of sunshine on the internet. Passionate about music and has taken the opportunity to turn these live streams into a way to connect with some really, really cool people and some really, really cool musicians. So let's bring Dee on and have her just share what her experience is and what she's got going on. And let me get her on the screen here, ladies and gentlemen. Help me welcome what?
Ooh,
Dee River.
hello,
Yes, how are you?
Cyberland. Hi.
Yes. And
Yeah.
if you are tuned in live, please give me a hashtag live in the comments and let us know where you are tuning in from. And as we go through, if you've got any questions for Dee, if you've got any questions for me, please let us know. But let us know where you're tuning in from. Speaking of, Dee, where are you located? Where are you at?
I'm located in Sacramento, California.
Gosh, all right, that's right. Yes, right, you're up north. And I'm in
Hmm.
Huntington Beach, and yeah, we are definitely on some West Coast time here, so we are still in the
Yes.
morning. But yes, thank you for taking the time to share and to talk with me about your journey and just kind of what you've got going on now. But um, for those folks that don't know you that are tuning in, tell me, share with us a little bit just about maybe your music career in general. I know think you've performed in bands. I know I've seen a lot of, different clips and stuff. But tell us a little bit about just your musical journey.
Well, I started out years ago.
Right,
Had to clear my throat there for a
right. Conveniently,
minute.
you
Of
know.
course. I started out. My uncle got me started into music. My foundations are R&B, blues. The gospel, jazz, the whole works. That's the
hmm
foundation. I ended up becoming a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Went to school for it for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Traveled all across the country, and also did some time in Spain and did a little bit of singing over in Spain.
Awesome.
I've also been a journalist for a couple of Southern Soul magazines. I'm originally from Augusta, Georgia, the home of James Brown.
Okay. I did not
And
know that. Awesome.
yeah,
All
so
right.
that's how I got into music.
Good deal. Okay. So then, when, social media came along, obviously it was, one of the easiest ways, whether we like it or don't like it, whatever. Obviously, it was one of the easiest ways, just in general, for us to be able to reach out and connect with people from all over and things like that. Um, you know, Tell me, when you first started using social media, like how were you like interacting with it? Were you posting videos? Were you, you know, I think you even mentioned that the watch party thing, but tell me a little bit about how like social media, you started seeing the impact of that.
Well, actually, I was a slow adopter to music, to social media,
I got you.
joining Facebook. Not when everyone else did.
I got you.
I was on MySpace for quite some time. I'll just go ahead and admit that. So once I joined Facebook,
Hmm.
um, I was performing at the time. I stopped performing live December 2018, December 31st. So
Gotcha.
long before the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to do something different.
Hmm.
I wasn't internally satisfied with it. So I started playing around with Facebook. They started introducing new features, and the
Yeah,
Facebook Live and the watch party came out. And I saw a couple of other friends of mine using it, and I'm going, this might be something that I could do.
yeah.
So I'm a big fan of classic rock, the classic, original classic rock, and the new classic rock.
Hmm.
So I started paying tribute to artists, Motley Crue. I mean,
Hmm.
you name it. On watch parties, I would look on Facebook and
Yeah,
find videos, and it became
gotcha.
popular. Yeah.
So and that was I think I misspelled parties. I'm gonna take that. I can't have typos in here. So um and so when you did that, was it actually a show, or was it something that you're like, what, this is just something that I enjoy, that I want to do, or like were you conscious like, hey, this is a thing that I'm going to create? Was that, how did that come about when you
You
did it?
know, my face was not present at all at the time. It was just a bunch of videos, and what I would do was, I'd make comments behind the scenes. There
Gotcha.
would be fans of Motley Crue. They would, message me or whatever, and we talk about what's going on in videos. But you
Right.
never saw me live.
I got you. So it was a way for you to be live without being seen.
Yes,
I got you. And so, okay, so you created this dynamic of, hey, I'm gonna, go in here and share my love of this genre, these bands, and connect with fans. And you weren't, at least at the time, worried about, I'm gonna try and do this to build engagement, get, my name recognition, all that stuff. It was truly just out of passion for the music.
absolutely.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Um, okay, so then obviously that was all pre-pandemic.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so the pandemic hits, and then there's no more shows necessarily, which it is good to note that a lot of bands that I've worked with and stuff, they came to live streaming because the gigs were gone and the stage was gone.
Yes.
But not necessarily being the case in your situation, it was more of, hey, there's new opportunities here, there's more tools available, or you were just more aware of, hey, there's a whole bunch more people online now that there were. Like, how did the pandemic like impact like the change from like watch parties to seeing your beautiful face?
Well, you know what, and forgive me if this is wrong, but for everyone else who were going through the struggle as a musician, it was like a choir open up for me. And it just kind of,
Yeah.
opportunities were there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had to jump on that.
Hmm.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and just to let everybody know, obviously we got a chance to connect. I would say it was March or April.
Yes.
We had known each other, I think, from last fall. We did a content challenge, which you rocked,
Thank you.
and we did some cool stuff then. But you know, got a chance to work with you, and we learned StreamYard.
Yes, we
And
did.
yeah, and so for those of you watching, StreamYard is just one of the cool, you know, live streaming tools that are out there. That basically, there aren't any people at StreamYard. StreamYard is the platform that sits on top of where the people are. So this is
Yes.
right now sitting on top of Facebook. We're also streaming to
Yes.
YouTube and to Twitter.
Yes.
So StreamYard was the tool, and uh, Dee was like, "Look, I want to be able to still do my radio takeover and stuff, but I want to talk to people and interview people, and StreamYard was one of the options, one of the tools that allow you to do that. Um, so now you've got the pandemic, you see the opportunity, and now you've got StreamYard that allows you to, just like we're doing right now, bring people on and have conversations and do stuff. So, like, you know, what was your first guest? Like, what was your first time reaching out? Like, were you like, oh, this is on now? Like, I know exactly who I'm calling, or was it like, you just like, who's available? What's going on? Like, how did that whole thing come about when you first started to do the new version of the takeover?
Well, it's good to have musician friends. And
Mm,
I have a lot of musician friends.
mm-hmm,
And I knew who I wanted first as my first guest. It was a no-brainer.
mm-hmm,
I have a friend of mine who was last year who was shot
mm,
by his brother and such. And I knew I wanted Len Webster on my show. He was my very first guest
mm,
on the radio, and he had all the time he wanted to talk about music.
mm-hmm,
He's a kicktail guitar player.
mm-hmm,
So we talked about music and we talked about his situation for quite some time. I believe it was a couple of hours. We
mm.
talked about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so since then, you know, what have been some of your favorite, favorite interviews? Like, I'm gonna go
Oh wow.
to your page here, because you've had a chance to talk to quite a few people.
Oh, they all are just wonderful folks. It's hard to
Good.
pick, you know, just one, but the one that you're looking at right there is Craig Horst.
Mm-hmm.
He is a musician out of San Francisco. He plays with a favorite band of mine called the Butlers. He's a lead
Mm-hmm.
guitarist. His episode with me interviewing him has hit over 50,000 views plus at last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Wow.
he was fun. Great guy to talk to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, yeah, do you have, obviously a lot of musicians are going to be, going online, or have been going online and sharing their music and things like that. But,
Yes.
you know, when it comes to, the interview format, like, is it something that, let's say someone who's a musician is like, you know what, my live streams aren't really hitting the way they were, or I want to do something different, or what have you. Um, how do you prepare for an interview? How do you prepare for, your guest? Do you have an outline, or like, how do you really get ready for someone? Is it a difficult process, or is it easy now? Like, how's your process?
Well, for me, I think it's very easy because I 9 times out of 10 I already know the musicians I've interviewed.
Got you.
So it's
Okay.
it's by invite only.
Got you.
Not everyone can just pop on the show. It's by me going to their Facebook Messenger and
Hmm.
hey, do you want to be on the show? And we kind of
Right.
already know each other for the most part. So
Got you. I mean,
yeah,
that's a good tip. You don't have to have, random people and people that you don't know or whatever. You don't have to go that route. You can stack the deck.
yes,
Yeah, you can stack the deck. That's good. Um, And then how would you say, your engagement, your just in general, your community, just for the D Rivers, you know, the show. How has the live streaming and stuff changed or impacted your engagement, maybe your fan base and things like that since you started?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think I want to grace the stage as a vocalist ever again because of this. I love
Mm.
this platform. This is it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the pandemic, it's going to be a while before everybody will feel comfortable enough to go out. This is the way to
True.
go. If you have not experienced StreamYard, I call it the duck. That's my
Yeah. And for the that's good. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, that is the I put the logo up here. That is the StreamYard logo. Is the little duck there? Don't know exactly where they got the duck from, but yes, I got you. So
actually
yeah,
Lynn Webster called it the duck first, and I just adapted it from
nice,
there. But yeah, but
nice.
it's a great tool.
Hmm.
And you can also, as we've talked about earlier, you could perform live as a musician, or you can interview other musicians. You could take it away from yourself and
Hmm.
put the spotlight on someone else. There's nothing wrong
Definitely.
with that at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that is a really good point too. Is that we don't have we don't have control over what's going to happen with the pandemic. We don't
Right.
have control over when the venues are going to open up or when they'll get shut down or uh, anything like that. And I've seen articles and reports and stuff of, hey, 90% of indie music venues are saying that they are not going to be able to stay open, like they're going to close permanently if the pandemic lasts another couple months. And it's like,
Very true.
yeah, and it's like how, you know, no person in their right mind was like prepared for this. Now, obviously, people who have saved up and are really good financially and doing all this, I'm not saying that, everyone's, out on their hind end. What I'm saying is,
Right.
even as a musician, we were doing 120 shows a year and doing stuff. And I have so much like, empathy for bands that were doing that are relying on that gig income, because I think about this, like if this would have happened for us as a family, if this would have happened 5 years ago, I was a booking agent pretty much full time, and then both of us, we were the lead singers of our band, and all of our income, it felt diverse because part of it was on stage, but then part of it was the booking. So if something happened and a show got canceled for the band, it's okay because I've got these other shows that I've booked that I'm getting commission on all of these. So this will
Right.
cover even if the band's not working. So
Hmm.
we've got bases covered. Of course, no one is thinking, hey, what if every single gig got canceled? What if people can't go to the venues? Like, what? And just thinking about, like, literally just thinking about our situation and knowing that that is a situation that a lot of musicians were in March. And obviously it still feels like it's a really long a really long month. My wife and I joke about how it feels like it's, you know, March 97th right now. Like it's
Yes.
still like we're still just like waiting for something
Yes.
to happen. But I just think about that. But you're right. Even though it's been horrible in terms of a lot of things that have gone on, and obviously a whole bunch more than just the pandemic is going on. 2020 is ruthless. Um,
Yes, it is.
but yeah, it's one of those things where it's not just a band-aid. It's not, live streaming is not just a band-aid. It's not just something, oh, let me just
Right.
do this long enough to get through. It
Oh no.
can be for some people. It might still seem like that, but I'm really stressing and encouraging artists and bands and creatives to take control of what you're doing and realize that even if things get back to some version of normal, you can still reach more people across the world by connecting with them on your laptop, on your phone, and building content that entertains, that educates, that people want to see and that they connect with. So I think you made a really good point. Like, I don't ever have to be on the stage again. Like, cool, you got a gig, cool, peace. I will be here with my backdrop and my coffee. I may or may not have actual pants on. I'm not going to stand up because you'll never know.
That's
But,
right.
but yeah, so just, and I know a lot of people that are stuck on like the tech part of it, that are like, hey, there's just too much tech to really get going or something like that. So
Right.
just tell me what's your setup that you use to stream with, like, and obviously I know you use StreamYard, but like,
Right.
what are you streaming on? Do you have external mics, USB? Like, what are your, in general, what's your setup that you're using?
Well, I can show you.
Oh, please. Oh, nice. Okay.
Very old headset that I've had for about 10 plus years. I paid for maybe $75 for at Best Buy some years ago. It's Turtle Beach headphones
Okay.
that I use. Very simple setup. You just plug it into your laptop. I use a Chromebook.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I have sometimes I interview from my iPad. I have three Windows based laptops. So I could have
Gotcha.
like, a computer like, I don't know, Star Trek, how they have their
Yeah.
station set up.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. It really isn't.
Yeah.
I would say to a musician or anyone who wants to get into video conferencing or what have you, StreamYard,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that difficult to do. It really isn't. Think of it as nature's way of saying, look, it's time for you to switch it up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, are those plugged in? Are those Bluetooth? Are those wireless? Or are they actually plugged in to your computer?
I have about 20 different headsets. These are plugged, they're wired.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you.
But I have the little pods that you can put into your ears because you never know what, because my show, I mean, the longest interview I've had is a little bit over 3 hours and 28 minutes. So they're going to run out eventually. So you have to be prepared. Wired, wireless.
Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah.
Cool. So you go straight from computer, and then you use StreamYard like we're using now to interview folks. And then
Yes.
do you have, so then your headphones, I see, then also have your microphone.
Yes.
And so do you also have a USB mic, or do you just rely on your headset microphones?
For the most part, I rely on my headset, but I also have a USB mic as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, that's awesome. And that, what is that like, at any one given time, what, 3 or 4 pieces of stuff that, you can get? That's cool. And then, yeah, you said you also go live on iPad, which is cool. I've noticed that one of the differences between a desktop and an iPad
Yes.
is, or I should say a mobile, some type of device, is that on the mobile iOS kind of devices, you can actually see when you've got your stream going, you can see when people start watching.
Yes.
It doesn't show you that on desktop. But it does show you that on the phone. Like, oh, all right, okay. Or at least it didn't used to. I think they maybe have upgraded. They might actually
Some
do that now.
modifications, yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And then just with your show, how often do you try to do your show? How often do you go live and interview normally?
Oh, I was at it like hotcakes there for a minute. I was doing like 5 and 6 interviews a week.
Wow, nice. Okay. And did you set your time like you're going to do same time every day, or was it like today I'm going to interview someone. It's going to be based on their availability, kind of thing. Like,
Yes.
I got you. Okay,
Yes.
cool. That's awesome. And so with your show and all of that, just if you did have someone that was wanting to do an interview show for the first time or something, like, what's one thing or a couple of things that you would recommend, like now that you've been on the other side of so many interviews, like what's one thing that maybe a struggle or something that you've run into or tips that you might give someone, that a musician maybe that would want to start a show like the Radio Takeover?
From a musician standpoint, the
Mm-hmm.
unpredictability of going live.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Okay.
you have to be prepared because you have to look at the time your show is on
Mm-hmm.
because of the internet streaming, because it
Mm-hmm.
could pause, could go out. You
Ah,
you have to be prepared for that.
yeah. So yeah, um, I've noticed that too. Yeah, I finally broke
Yes.
down and got an Ethernet cable, and it's like a 50-foot cable because the modem is like 2 rooms away. So
Hmm.
we've got like it taped down on the floor, but I'm like, I can't, be doing all this live streaming and just hope that the Wi-Fi doesn't go out, or that can't be
That's right.
watching Netflix or something like that. So I definitely had to invest in just getting a cable or whatever. Um, but yeah, so that is cool. And I wanted to share here real quick. So, do you have, I guess, anything? Is there another question? Do you have um, interview scheduled? I think I saw you just moved.
Yes.
Got you. And are you still? Did you move within the same city? Just move to a different place?
I moved about 5 apartments down from
Ah,
my
gotcha.
old
Okay,
place. Yeah.
I got you. Um, and so I was going to ask, do you have um, any interviews or anything scheduled coming up? Or are you still just getting your bearings in the new place?
I am getting my bearings in a new place. There is one interview that I have to edit. It will be um, audio
Hey,
only.
Elise.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hello.
gotcha.
Hi. Hoo-hoo.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
This isn't weird at all.
Yeah. But
Nice,
yeah, so yeah, the interviews are going to resume very shortly.
nice, good deal. So yeah, guys, if you are looking for some really entertaining, some really fun interviews and conversations with musicians from all over that um, are literally, you know, icons in their area, in the scene, and all of that stuff, make sure you tune into Dee Hemingway Music Presents the Radio Takeover with Dee Rivers.
Woo-hoo.
And yeah, Dee, I thank you so much for your time, for hanging out, and yeah, just sharing a little bit about your story and your awesome interview show and things like that. And so, just real quick, you said that the interviews are going to pick up. Like, do you see, has there been any new things that have popped up that you've seen that like you want to try, or like, are you still like, I got my format, I love it, and I'm just going to keep on going, or like, because stuff's popping up all over the time. I get shiny object syndrome sometime and try to do stuff. But yeah, so yeah, what's coming up for the show? What are you feeling?
I want to do more YouTube
Mm,
live,
got you.
and I want to also replay the shows that I've done in the past. Go back, and
Yeah,
for those who have not seen the show, start
got
all the
you.
way back from number one.
Yeah. And I just thought about that too. Do you have, with this break, this is just me. You know how I get.
Uh huh.
But since you've had like a little break, I'm not sure how many you've done, but maybe all the ones that you've done so far are season one. Maybe when you come back, you flip it up a little bit. Here's season two.
There you
You get
go.
a little series going. Obviously we're all watching a lot of television every now and then, so but yeah, you know me, I'm just always
I
just
love it. I
yeah,
love that idea.
yeah. Well, cool. Well, again, you guys, this has been an awesome chance to talk to my friend Dee. And again, if you are looking to, you know, maybe do something different than perform, think about, you know, how you might be able to incorporate an interview style, even a segment in
Mhm.
your live stream. It doesn't have to be like the whole show, but being able to connect with other artists, peers, people in the biz that you know. That's a good low barrier way to start. As Dee mentioned, like she knows pretty much all of the musicians that she has connected with, so it's not the awkward. Let me do this live stream interview thing and also get to know this person. So the rapport and all that stuff can already be there, which comes across in the stream, I think, a lot. And
Yes.
I've tuned in several of yours, and I'm like, you guys are just having fun, kicking it, and talking about stories and sharing different experiences and stuff. So I think that is a great low barrier way to like get into that as well. So
There's one thing I forgot to add,
yeah.
Leonard, and I want to thank you.
Oh,
And in the band coach, you have really made a major, major difference in my musical life, and I really, really
oh,
appreciate you.
thank you, Dee. That means a lot. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been a pleasure to be able to connect, and you know, obviously we haven't met in person yet, but since we're on the West Coast,
Yes.
I got I got 50 masks. I
That's
will be. Hey, you mentioned it before too, but I'm also like, okay, this is crazy. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys can go if you want. D and I are going to talk for a second. I'm kidding, but I just thought about it too. Is like, even when they say it's safe, like how many months am I going to need personally, or how much time am I going to need personally to be like, okay, are we sure? Because like even after they say it's safe, like I'm not going to be running out to the restaurants the next day. I mean, I don't think I am. I do miss being able to go and sit down, whew, at a restaurant. Lord, I miss a lot of stuff. I miss being outside the house, but at
yes.
least right now, I feel like it's going to take me a while to like get used to getting back out and all that stuff. Because you know, this ain't no joke.
No,
Stuff is
it's not.
serious.
It's extremely serious. You know, psychologically, during all this, I've gotten OCD. I'm always
Mm,
washing my hands and everything all the time. It's going to take me a while to readjust to the new world, this new life.
mm-hmm. It's understandable.
Hmm.
Definitely. Well, Dee, thank you so much. I appreciate your time again, and we will definitely, you know, stay connected, and you know, we can, you know, talk offline here in the
Yes.
future and do some more StreamYard stuff. But yeah, everyone, please help me thank Dee. Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
you are very welcome. And you have an awesome rest of your weekend, and
You
we
too.
will thank you. We will chat with you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye bye. Thanks, Dee.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for hanging out with us. This is Leonard with Indie Band Coach, and again, if you want a copy of our live stream checklist, what to do, tips of what to do before, during, and after, hit the caption. There's a link there, or you can also go to bit.ly/live stream check, and it's just a way to help you get a process in your head of things that you can do to make your live streams more effective and help you focus more on your fans and not more about the tech and all of that stuff. So, thanks so much, you guys. You have an awesome day. And yeah, if you have any questions for me or for Dee, please drop them in the comments. We will be checking those out as well. And I hope you are staying safe and staying home. And I will talk to you soon. All right, bye bye.